Hi guys, welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to talk about an awesome tool called Postman. This tool is used to test the APIs and create the documentation for the APIs. You might be the developer of backend, or you might be the quality assurance engineer that you need to create some documentation for all the APIs for the backend project so that you can verify if all the APIs are working fine or not without actually going through the user interface or the front end side application. So I'll be showing you all the different stuff of Postman, different validation techniques, how you can test different kinds of APIs, how to speed up your testing in the Postman, and different configurations that you need to add in this Postman. You can download it in your system, whether it's Mac, Windows, or Linux, or you can directly use it on its website. Okay, so I've already building a backend project in Node Express where I'm creating some APIs. I'll be using the same examples, and currently I have these much APIs that I've already built, and I'm creating a crash course as well on Node Express MongoDB, creating APIs and a lot of validation stuff inside it. Okay, so but this video is about primarily on Postman. So let's try to create and start off with the Postman. So whenever you will download and run the Postman on your system, you will see nothing on this window. It will be empty, and on the left side you will see these collections are a kind of folders that help you to organize your APIs by creating different folders, and you can have the nested folders as well. And the other features that you are seeing here, you need to log in first, but I don't feel like it is important to log in and create an account. It happens without login as well, so we can use it. So if I go to the collection, I will click on this plus button and I can create a new collection here. I can right click and I can name it that notes API testing, anything. Okay, and currently I have two kinds of APIs. I can add more folders inside it, so I can name this folder auth APIs, and then I can add another folder and I can name this folder notes APIs. Okay, and inside it, first of all, let me add few APIs for the authentication. In order to create the APIs, let's close this. Let's close these folders as well, and I'm going to close these requests as well. So now if I want to create some request and want to test some APIs, let's say the login API or a sign up API, I need to right click on it. I can add a request. Okay, so I'll add a request. So let's say that the sign up API is a post request. It's not a get, it's a post request. So I'll select a post from here and I can change its name like the sign up user. Okay, and then I need to give the URL that what is the URL of the sign up API. So the current project that I'm running, its URL is the localhost 4000/API/users/signup, and this is the URL. Obviously, when the backend project is deployed on any server, this will not be a localhost 4000. It will be something original domain on the browser. Okay, so it's a Postman, and then what I need to do is I need to go to the body, and obviously when we need to sign up on the client side, we fill up username, password, user profile picture, and other stuff. So I'm already building different stuff for this. So I'll opening up this previous collection that I'm already creating, and I'll open up this create user, and this is the data that I need to pass. So I'll just copy it from here, and how you can go to there. So you can click on the body, you can click on the raw, and then you need to click on this JSON. Okay, and here you can paste that data that needs to be passed along with this API, and this data will be used to create a new user in the database. And this Node Express app that I'm building is actually storing all the data for the users and the nodes in the MongoDB database. Okay, so this is the MongoDB. Currently there are no users, 0 users, and this is the data which I need to pass. And you can get this data from whoever built the backend, or if you are a developer and you want to create the APIs, then it's a good one. So now if I just hit send, and you can see that this new users have been created with the success with these details that is being returned, which is this is how I have built the Node Express MongoDB server up till now. Okay, so now you can see that it is a results object, and inside it we have two more objects. And similar to sign up, let me create another request, and I'm going to name this request a login user. Okay, and it is again a post request, and it is the login one, and I can go to the body raw and go to the JSON, and here I can paste the data, and the data for login is only the email and the password that I need to add, and I'll be giving it the same data that I am actually using to create a new user. Okay, so first of all, let me add an object with the curly braces, and inside it I'll be pasting this email and the password. Okay, so in order to log in, let me save these. Let's try to log in. Let's send, and you can see that it has successfully returned the user ID and the result. It means that our login is successful, and we have actually seen how we can test the sign up API and the login API in the Postman. And we have actually categorized on left side that how we can create folder structure for different kind of APIs to be tested. Okay, and then let's go ahead and create another request inside the notes, and I'll be naming it get notes. And I need to fetch all the notes from the database which are created, and all the notes needs to be fetched when the user is logged in. So if user is not logged in, I'm throwing an error that you don't have access to these notes. So in order to get the notes, this is the API localhost colon 4000 slash API slash notes. And for getting the notes, I don't need to pass anything in the body raw or JSON in any form, whether it's a text form or in any form. Okay, so but we need to pass an authorization token that if the user is logged in or not. Okay, and this is where we actually comes with the concept of the adding the authorization token. So we need to go to the login user, and we have actually generated this auth token. So I'm going to add this thing. Let's first call this without authorization token. So let's send, and you can see that it has returned a message unauthorized, and this is how I have implemented my backend API so far, which needs to be updated yet, but this is how it's working. The validation is already added there. So I need to go to the header, and I can add my authorization key over here. So authorization, and as its value, I can add first the bearer space, and I can paste it after that. And it should be the same auth token that is generated by login user over here. And whenever you log in again, it might generate a new auth token, and the new auth token you will need to give from the client side. So currently I'm using the Postman. You need to assume that this API is being used on any JavaScript application, and you can store this token in a local storage or a cookie storage from the front end side, and that will be passed to other APIs to get the data who have access to it. Okay, so now I've pasted that auth token that I've copied. I'm going to save the get notes request. Now if I send, it should return us the notes because we have authorized with this user to get the notes from the database. Okay, and this is the one way to add the auth token, but there is a better way to add. I'm going to just uncheck it, and I'll go to the authorization, and I will click on this bearer token, and here it is automatically detected that because I actually added before. So I'll just be pasting auth token over here, and I have pasted. Let's save it, and now if I send again, you can see that this auth token is being added over here. If I go to the header, I have actually unchecked this, but it will be automatically added because I have selected it in the authorization tab. Okay, so this is how you can add this from here. Now we need to make it more dynamic and make it more usable. So let's say that you have hundreds of APIs to get the data from, and all of those APIs require authorization. So will you be fine if you go to each request in the Postman and go to the authorization tab and go to this bearer token and then add the token in each of the requests, and every time you are going to log in it will generate a new auth token. Then you will have to go to the each request and you need to add the updated token over here, and it will take quite a lot of time. So we need to create some kind of dynamic way to add this, and the dynamic way is that whenever we sign up and the login user, we need to auto generate this auth token, and we need to automatically add that auth token with all other requests that require authorization. Okay, so before that, let me configure few more stuff. I need to create few environment variables. So in order to create environment variables, I can go to this environments, and I can create some another environment. This is the environment T backend is the environment that I created for other projects. So I can create another new environment, and this is the environment that I can give the note taking app, and this is the name of my new environment. And I can give the variable to it, that what should be the name of that variable. So I can name it like the base URL is the variable name, and then I can paste this initial URL localhost 4000. Okay, and I can paste it as an initial value to it. So it is saved, and I can add some more variables to it as an environment variable, and these variables can be you can say, so since we have this API as a starting keyword before all of the APIs that I'm creating, so I can add the initial keyword over here as a second variable that we can add. So since we have added this as a base URL, so I'll just copy this base URL and I'll go here, and in order to use that environment variable, I need to add the double curly braces, and I can paste base URL over here. Okay, and I can actually do it for other requests. And once we do it with all the requests, let me add it with all the 3 requests that I have generated. And later on, if your local host changes to some kind of staging server or a production server or a development server, or the port gets changed, then you only need to go to the environment and just change the value over here. You don't need to go to every request to change this environment variable to update that. Okay. But if I hover over it, it says that unresolved variable means it is not finding that variable from here. Okay, so I need to select that particular environment that I've just created, and this is called the note taking app. Okay, and if I select the note taking app, then it will be able to find that base URL from that environment file. And if I click on the send, it will be able to fetch the same data, means that over localhost 4000 is being fetched from this environment file and being appended over here. And I can create as much variable as I want for the rest of stuff, and I can create the separate variable for the localhost and separate variable for the port as well. Okay, but I have created only one variable. Now let's talk about that how we can dynamically generate this token and dynamically be added in all the requests that we need to apply to. Okay, so I need to go to the sign up, and this is where this JWT token is getting generated, and this is the path of it. I need to go to the tests, and here I can actually write the code. Okay, so I can write the if postman.response dot code equals to 200, means that the user has signed up successfully in the Postman. Then what I'm going to do is I can set the environment variable dynamically, and I can name this variable anything, and I will be naming it token. And after that, I will be fetching that token, access token that is getting generated after this request is completed. So it is being generated from the pm.response.json and then dot, and this is our object results at the bottom, and within the results we have this JWT token. So I will be adding results.jwt token. Okay, so this has been added, and our JWT token is also getting generated in our login request as well. So I'll go to the test and I will be pasting over here and I will save it. If you don't know the initial steps of how to write the code, you can click on the snippets on the right side and it will be auto generate few lines of stuff, except few of these variables that you might want to change later on. Depends upon the response you are getting after the API is hit. Okay, so now I need to create a new user because I want to generate this token based upon the sign up user and the login user. So I'll be creating a new user. Let's go to the body and I'm going to change it admin2, and the rest of things can remain same. So let's save it and I'm going to send this. All right, so now our new user have been generated in the database with this JWT token. Now let's go to our environment file and see that if it generated this token with the name token in environment variable or not. So I'm just going to open up this note taking app, and here you can see that on the runtime it actually generated this new value with the name token. Okay, so that's awesome, and we can actually generate this token during the login process as well. And I will be changing the admin2 because this is the new user I have created. I'm going to hit send, and this will also update the same variable that we have generated, and this token variable is a global. It's up to us whatever we want to write over here. We can add any number of lines of code over here. Okay, and it seems like it is a JavaScript. This is my favorite language. And now let's go to the get notes. And if I go to the authorization and the bearer token, so rather than actually giving the constant value over here, we will be fetching the value of token dynamically like this. Okay, and now whenever this new token is going to be generated dynamically, this token variable in an environment file will be automatically updated, and all other requests that require authorization to access the data from the database will be fetching the token from here. Okay, and it will be automatically fetched. Now if I click on the get notes now, because I have logged in with this, and this new notes should be get. So it says invalid token. Let's see what got wrong. And if we go to the note taking app, the login API did not generate any initial value in the environment app. So let's see, go to the login, and this is the response while login. All right, so the problem is that we don't have the JWT token variable exist in this response of the login. We only have the results directly. Okay, so I'll just save it and I will log in again, and it will be fetched again. And if I go to the note taking app, and now you can see that the current value is updated. And if I go to the get notes now, this token value should have a value. And if I send, and now you can see that the token have been updated automatically, and we don't have to copy paste token from here and there, and it will be configured automatically. All right, so this is how we can configure different APIs, add folders, add different environment variables, dynamically adding environment variable, how to add code in our request in the Postman. Now let's say that you have built this folder, and you want to share this API documentation, and this folder is a API documentation automatically. You need to just right click, you need to click on export, and you need to export it, and it will be saved in your system. You can share it with your colleagues, with anybody whom you want to share with, and they can actually import it in their Postman, and they can start testing in their system. So currently I'm using my current project, and sometimes you might have a production URL or external APIs you might want to test, and there are a lot of other configurations that you might want to add. So in the authorization, you can see that if a lot of APIs, external APIs require an API key that you might want to add. So we will be adding the API key over here. If I click on it, we can add API key value, and we want to put it in the header or a query param. We can configure that, and we can do a lot of stuff over here if you are configuring it with the auth or AWS signature. And also one thing I would like to mention here, one last thing, is that let's say that we cannot only set the any token to the requests in our Postman, we can actually click on the folder, let's say the notes, and we can click on actually not, so we can hover this any folder, it can be the main folder or a nested folder, and we click on the three dots, and here we can click on the edit, and in the edit we can actually add any token, let's say the bearer token that we have added, and here we can paste the bearer token. All right, and here when we will be pasting the bearer token, then if we want to use this bearer token in all of the requests added under this folder, the notes folder, then what we have to do is, let's say get notes, and we have this authorization, and this folder notes is actually containing the bearer token. Then we will be just be selecting that inherit auth from the parent. Okay, and all of the variables, bearer token or API key or OAuth key that is added in the folder will be automatically inherited from that folder within all of the requests below that folder. Okay, so this is something I've not done yet, it is not required usually, but if in any case you might want to add different bearer token for different folders, like different for notes, different for settings, different for analytics APIs, different for users APIs, different for videos or the comments APIs, different for reviews APIs, then you need to put all of your request, one category request within its own category folder. You need to add a bearer token to that folder, and you can click on the inherit from auth. But currently I'll just be setting the bearer token over here because I'm setting the token in my environment variable from where I'm fetching this. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you are liking my videos, and if you are liking, don't forget to subscribe my channel for getting updates on upcoming videos. And if you like my videos, hit the like button and comment below if you have any question. Thank you so much for watching.